I know it looks a lot like the old one, but I think the new Porsche Taycan could be one of the most exciting electric cars of 2024. And here's why. For a start, just look at the headline figures. Porsche's saying that range is up by up to 35%. They're saying that the charging speed is up to 320 kilowatts, up from 270 in the previous Taycan. These are big changes, and they're really important changes as well. They're things that just make living with an electric car more convenient, more appealing, easier. I'm really excited about it. For starters, I should explain, I'm not in the Porsche Taycan, obviously, I'm in my lounge, but I have been in the Porsche Taycan, the new one. I've been for a passenger ride, I've seen it charge, I've spent some time with it in a studio in Germany, but unfortunately, it was one of those days where they put little stickers over the cameras on your phone to stop you taking any photographs, so I don't have any proof that I was actually there, but I was, I promise. And I was really impressed. Yeah, it's the Taycan. Yeah, we all know the Porsche Taycan. It's been around for 5 years now, and it's a great car, but it just didn't quite have enough range, did it? I mean, the range figures, they were okay when it arrived in 2019, but now in 2024, and even when I borrowed one in 2023, to be honest, the range just felt like it wasn't quite good enough. With the new one, things are different. I've got some stats here. They say that the WLTP range of the new Taycan is up to 421 miles. That's so much better than the previous one. If it'll do even 350 in regular driving conditions, you know, a bit of motorway, a bit of A road, bit of B road, bit of city driving, that'll be great. And the charging speed has increased from 270 kilowatts, which was already really quick, to 320. And I saw this. We went for a passenger ride with the car, being driven really very quickly by a factory test driver. We merged out onto the autobahn where it's de-restricted, and he booted it up from, you know, sort of 50 miles an hour to the limiter to 155, and God, it's quick. That was the Turbo S, so yeah, really quick. But yeah, charging. So we drove around for a bit, and he demonstrated the performance of the car and the new suspension, more on that in a minute. And we got to a charge station, 350 kilowatt charge station, so, you know, as fast as chargers get, plugged it in on a freezing cold day, and I couldn't believe how quickly the thing charged up. I've got the figures here. Porsche says it'll charge from 10 to 80% in 18 minutes. I think the previous Taycan was about 27.5 minutes for the same thing, so that's just incredible, isn't it? The battery's also slightly larger this time around. It's up from, I think, 93 kilowatt hours to just over 100. So again, that's going to make a little bit of difference to range. But yeah, it's that charging speed. I couldn't believe it. I saw the Taycan that I was in fill from 28% to 53% in 4.5 minutes. Yeah, that's barely time to park up and go for a wee, isn't it? That's really quick. And I think that's, you know, that's going to make such a big difference going forward. And I really hope this technology filters down into other Porsches and of course other members of the Volkswagen group in the future. What else? Well, the new Taycan, it's faster, isn't it? It's more powerful. Cars have to be, don't they? They just have to be faster, quicker, more powerful every single time. It's a little bit frustrating and probably unnecessary, but let's roll with it. So the new Taycan Turbo S, the flagship car, 700 kilowatts. That's 939 horsepower. 939 horsepower from a 4-seat saloon car. Porsche says that means a 0 to 62 time of 2.4 seconds. And yeah, I experienced that. It's insane. It's that kind of acceleration. I'm sure some viewers are familiar with the kind of acceleration you get from fast electric cars. It's funny the first time, it makes you laugh, perhaps nervously, and then it starts to make you feel a little bit queasy, to be honest. It really is very, very powerful. Of course, that's the flagship Turbo S model. There are lots of others. Porsche isn't just giving us a couple of Taycans and then gradually updating the others. We're getting them all at once. So there's Taycan, there's Taycan 4S, there's Turbo S, and then of course there's the normal Taycan. And then there's also the Sport Turismo estate and the Cross Turismo estate. So big range of Taycans straight out of the gate. The GTS is missing from the lineup. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe the GTS will come along at some point. Maybe that's the really quick one we've seen lapping the Nürburgring recently. Maybe that will actually go above Turbo S. We'll see. Other additions for the new Taycan, there's a push to pass button. Manufacturers really love saying that road cars are developed because of motorsport, and Porsche has done Formula E, so yeah, I guess it can say this has come from motorsport, but yeah, whatever. It's a button on the steering wheel in the driver select dial. Press that and you get a bit of extra power for 10 seconds to help with overtaking, obviously, because what, 600, 700 horsepower is not enough, so you need to press the button and get the full 9 something. But that doesn't give you the same amount of power as launch control. So to get the most power out of your Taycan, you need to engage launch control and then give it the beans off the line. And then if you want a bit more power than normal, there's the push to pass. Also new for this generation Taycan are some styling changes to make the Turbo and Turbo S look different to the rest of the range. Previously, they all pretty much looked the same, and I thought that was actually a good thing, because even if you bought the entry-level single motor Taycan, it looked, if it was spec'd the same way, it would look just like the flagship Turbo and Turbo S models. Porsche decided to do away with that. There are only subtle differences, different badges, that sort of thing. The Porsche crest on the Turbo and Turbo S is finished in what Porsche calls Turbonite, which isn't something to kill Superman. What Turbonite is a material, a colour. It sort of looks like silver, aluminium type thing. It's quite nice. The badges look quite cool. All Taycans have had a update to the front, just a little bit sharper, a little bit more creased, slightly different headlights at the front. The interior, pretty much the same as before, although you can now specify a second infotainment screen. So you've got the driver's display in front of you that's curved, and then you've got the central infotainment screen. You can then have that again, basically, to sit in front of your passenger. And what's clever with this is it has a film over the display that limits the viewing angle of the screen. So the driver cannot see this optional second screen, only the front passenger can, or I suppose the person sat behind the passenger. And that means they can watch video. So they could stream something, watch YouTube, watch Netflix, whatever's available on the system, and the driver won't be able to see it. It's fine. You can kind of tell there's a weird sort of, I want to say like a metallic kind of look to that screen. It's a little bit odd. Not sure if I want to be watching video in a car as quick as the Taycan, but it's there. It's there if you want it. The new Taycan also gets a new suspension system called Active Ride. Now, this is available on all of the dual motor all-wheel drive versions, just not the entry-level single motor. That car still gets air suspension, just not the new Active Ride system. What Active Ride is it's an air suspension system, but what it does is it moves the car to counter the roll and pitch and heave and other movements you get while driving. So when I was in the car, I was told to really look carefully at the front as the driver accelerated, and instead of the front lifting as you'd expect when the car's accelerating, it actually dropped slightly. The car was it was almost like it was pitching forwards as it accelerated, like a helicopter. And that's actually what they referred to it as. The Porsche engineers I spoke to referred to it as sort of helicopter mode almost. And then it leans into corners to counter the roll that you'd get with the car sort of moving to the outside of the corner. And then it also, it moves the car against the dive you would get under braking. So instead of the nose going down when you brake, it just pumps a bit of air and lifts it up. And the result is a car that just stays totally flat. There's a tiny bit of movement, more for feedback than anything else, but it really does stay remarkably flat, even when it's been driven quickly. One little weird party trick of this system is how, when you approach the car and open the door, as soon as you open the door, it lifts up. The whole car lifts a couple of centimetres with this air suspension. And I mean, it looks like a race car's just come into the pits and is like bumped up onto its hydraulic jacks. It's not that. It's just to help get in and out. It's quite a low car, it's quite a low seating position. So all it is it's a convenience feature. It just lifts the car a little bit so you can get in more easily. It's gonna really confuse some passengers because it's only 20 millimeters, the movement, but when a whole car does that quite suddenly, it's a bit weird. I'm sure that's gonna freak people out a little bit. I think overall what the new Taycan shows is that even a midlife facelift can bring huge upgrades. You know, normally a car lasts, say, 10 years, is in production for 10 years, and halfway through that time, the manufacturer gives the face a little bit of an update, maybe some new wheels, some new paint, a bit of an interior refresh, new technology, of course. That's what we're getting a lot these days, isn't it? The facelift brings a new touchscreen, better software, that sort of thing, or fixes problems. Looking at you, Volkswagen ID3. But with the Taycan, Porsche has kept most of it the same, but given us loads of performance update. It's just remarkable. The charge times I cannot get over. Seeing it do that was just extraordinary. Of course, you need to find a suitable charger. 350 kilowatt chargers are not everywhere. In the UK, we've got the Ionity network, and there are a few others. Obviously, Porsche dealers have a couple, but they're not open on Sundays, as I found out once. That's really annoying when you want to charge. So yes, we need a lot more 350 kilowatt chargers to make the most of cars that can charge like the Taycan can. But, you know, it's a step in the right direction, isn't it? We're getting there. We're getting cars now where even with big batteries, over 100 kilowatt hours and 400 miles of claimed range, even these cars, now you can plug it in, go to the loo, get a drink, come back, and it's gone up by, 60, 70, 80%. I think that's really impressive. Prices for the new Taycan start at £86,500 and go all the way up to £162,500 plus a few options that you could probably sprinkle on the top of your Turbo S. So that's the new Taycan. I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's brilliant, and although I have ridden in it, I can't show you that, which is a shame. So I hope you've enjoyed me in my lounge, and I hope you enjoyed Porsche's B-roll that I've slapped over the top of this video. And do click like, do click subscribe. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers because at the moment, this doesn't make me any money. I am a journalist, I'm freelance, this is a job for me to talk about cars, as fun as it is, but this YouTube thing, it needs to pay, it needs to at least earn something. So I need to get to 1,000 subscribers, then I can click that monetization button, annoy everybody by putting adverts on videos, but then at least it becomes a revenue stream. So please, 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 if you've liked it, click subscribe, and I'll see you again on another video very soon.